This isn't the video I wanted to make today. I thought it was going to be about how I bought a catamaran, quit YouTube, and started sailing around the world. Unfortunately though, reality has deviated from my projections. Despite getting 3,121 free tier signups and selling 1,100,000 tokens with $0 in infrastructure costs thanks to the Firebase free tier and a gross profit of $75.90, my side hustle is still failing. And if we can't turn the ship around soon, I'm going to have to take it behind the barn.
I'd expect anyone in this unit to do the same for me.
In today's video, we'll look at everything that's gone wrong so far, but more importantly, look at a variety of strategies that you can use to validate ideas and not fuck things up. First of all though, why is my side hustle failing? I made a $75.9 profit in the first day, which extrapolates to $27,000 in annual cash flow. In addition, the business runs on autopilot, and I haven't had to touch the code since it went live. That's great, and I'll likely keep it running indefinitely from here as a zombie project, but here's why I'm not very optimistic. My conversion rate was only 0.3%. That means I need to get 300 free users to sign up just to get one paid user who's only paying $6.90. I'm able to be profitable in the short term because I have this YouTube channel that's like a gravy train with biscuit wheels, but I've already used up that ace in the hole. I've only had 2 additional sales after the initial launch. If I want to keep pursuing this business, I need to either invest a lot of my own time into organic marketing or pay a friendly company like Google or Meta an absurd amount of money to appear on their platform. It depends on the industry, but it can cost hundreds of dollars just to get one conversion. If you have a product that has a very high lifetime value, it can definitely be worth it to pay for advertising, because if you can pay for ads while still being profitable, then there's really no reason not to. In my case though, my product only costs $6.90, which would put me deep in the red with paid ads. But the one thing that's more valuable than money is your time, and I don't want to spend my time standing on the corner twirling a sign for the side hustle. Behind almost every successful small business is an extremely passionate and driven founder. If you're going to try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start. This could mean losing girlfriends, wives, relatives, maybe even your mind. It could mean not eating for 3 or 4 days. It could mean freezing on a park bench. It could mean jail. It could mean derision. It could mean mockery, isolation. Isolation is the gift. All the others are just a test of your endurance, of how much you really want to do it. And you'll do it despite rejection and the worst odds, and it will be better than anything else you can imagine. If you're going to try, go all the way. There's no other feeling like that. You will be alone with the gods, and the nights will flame with fire. You will ride life straight to perfect laughter. It's the only good fight there is. If that Bukowski poem doesn't describe how you feel about your project, then it might not be worth your time. If I'm being totally honest with myself, I'd much rather spend my time making content on Fireship than I would trying to build up this half-assed voice cloning tool. That being said, what could I have done differently to make this project more successful? Well, first of all, I only spent 2 days building it. It's not responsive and has a terrible landing page. Any meaningful minimum viable project will take a lot longer than this to develop, even when using a highly optimized tech stack like the F it or suck it stack. Instead of using IBM Carbon as the design system, I'd spend more time creating a unique custom design and have a much more powerful call to action on the homepage. And I should do a better job describing what the product is in just a few words. In addition, you want to use some kind of analytics to understand how your users are behaving, because they're likely using your app in ways you never expected. Like Firebase itself was originally supposed to be a chat widget kind of like Intercom, but they found that developers were putting all kinds of random stuff in it, so they decided to pivot to a real-time database. Then a few years later, it's acquired by Google, making them rich beyond their wildest dreams. The founders made their own luck, just like Tarantino. To really optimize things, you should look at the analytics, then do some A/B testing with a small subset of users before you invest in a huge launch. And that's especially important if you pay for ads, because then you really need to optimize that conversion rate. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. The big question is, how do you even come up with an idea for a side hustle, and then more importantly, validate it? Good ideas are easy to come by. The problem is that there's 100 billion people in the world, if you include the outer lands beyond the ice wall. And somebody out there is likely already a millionaire with your idea. The fact that someone is already executing your idea is actually a great way to get some early validation. Big companies like Meta do this all the time by stealing features from smaller applications. In fact, it's a good sign that someone's already doing your idea. You just need to figure out what they're doing wrong, or narrow down your target to find a segment of the market where you could be doing things better. In fact, that's been my approach to this YouTube channel. When I started, there were already millions of JavaScript tutorials. You might even call it an oversaturated market, but I saw an opportunity to create shorter, faster content that I thought developers like me would like. Just look at a company like Figma. They built a design product that was really only slightly different than things offered by Adobe at the time, but they addressed the most common pain points and made a product that people love. A few years later, Adobe acquires them for $20 billion just so they could make the product suck again. Now, once you have the general idea of what you want to build, another way to validate it is to build in public. And by that, I mean get on social media and tell the world what you're building before you even build it. What you'll find is that there's a lot of other indie makers doing the same thing that will support you and provide feedback. Oh, and by the way, make sure to also follow me on Twitter, because I'll be posting posting extra video content there soon. That's great and all, but what you really need to do is validate the idea with your core audience. One product everybody hates but still pays $100 a year for is Microsoft Word. What you can do is find real people or micro-influencers on social media who use this product but understand its pain points. Follow these people, like their posts, and engage with them on social media. Once you've gained their trust, you can then reach out with a direct message that's like, hey, I saw you hate Microsoft Word. I'm developing this new product that solves X and Y pain points. Do you want to be the first one to check it out when it's ready? This is highly surgical direct marketing, but it's also highly effective. And people use it on me for their tech products, and it works. Because honestly, it's a win-win. If you're creating something that can make my life better, I'd like to know about it, but I'm definitely not going to click on one of your ads. If you get a lot of people excited, that means you're probably onto something. But the reality is that rejection is very common, and you might get rejected a bunch of times even if you have a good idea. So another way to validate your idea is to get a bunch of people to sign up for it before you even build it. You'll see startups do this all the time with waitlists. What they'll do is focus on marketing first, put together a bunch of promises, and then build up an email list that they can engage with in the future. Do not underestimate the power of an email list. Nobody's going to sign up for an email list unless they truly want what you're selling. On top of that, once you have an email list, you can use it to invite people to a Discord server. And from there, you're directly engaging with your target customers. You can even give them early access in exchange for feedback about what works and what doesn't. It's way easier to validate ideas when you have a bunch of collaborators who see the value in your ideas. Then, as you start actually delivering on your idea, this community will help promote the project because you've created something that adds value to people's lives. It's a win-win for everybody. Sam Altman of Y Combinator and OpenAI said the single most important thing in a startup is to create a product so good that people will tell their friends about it. But you won't know if you have a good product until you actually build it. Usually when I have an idea, I have one core feature, but then a bunch of optional supporting features that I want to add on to it. Avoid the temptation to ship a whole bunch of features all at once. Instead, focus on the core problem to get an MVP out there quickly and some real users who can validate the idea. Software development almost never goes according to plan. The end result ends up looking different than the initial vision because it's really hard to predict what the end user actually wants. Build something lean and focused, get a user, and then build up an empire from there. You can also launch on websites like Product Hunt to further validate if people are actually interested in what you're offering. From a technical standpoint, it's usually a good idea to build apps that have as little friction as possible. Like with Firebase, I might start with anonymous authentication so the user doesn't have to enter an email to start using the main features. Then at some later point after they've enjoyed using the app, they can upgrade to a full account. If I had a nickel for every time I decided not to use an app just because it had a sign-in form, I would have a shitload of nickels. But the bottom line is to try to keep your app minimal, free, and frictionless, especially in the early game. Don't even worry about making money. Just focus aggressively on making people's lives better. In the mid-game, after you have a customer base, you can start adding all those extra features that your customers want and charge money for them accordingly. And then finally in the late game, you can lobby the government for regulations to crush all the smaller competition. Now, the final thing I want to say is that even if your side hustle fails, like most of them do, you'll have gained a lot by grinding through this process. You'll have some new contacts in your Rolodex, you'll have a small community of people pulling for you, you'll have a cool project on your portfolio that can help you get a regular developer job, you'll have a bunch of reusable code that you can use for your next failed project, you'll have a more lean bank account, and finally you'll have the pride in knowing that you took a risk and tried something that many people dream about but most are too afraid to ever try. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.